Good morning, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. It's Wednesday, January 21st, 2026, and this is your AM Update.
The U.S. needs Greenland because no one will make a move on it then.
A critical week ahead for Greenland as global leaders confront what could be a turning point in President Trump's desire to control the island territory. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar facing new scrutiny as questions mount over her husband's sudden wealth gains amid explosive fraud allegations in her district.
Someone advised we have your dog and there's a shot came through the door.
A manhunt underway in Indiana after a gunman knocks on a judge's door, then opens fire. Portland police searching for a man who shot 2 police officers in the line of duty. And exciting news for the second family. All that and more coming up in just a moment on your AM Update. A new year means new financial goals, like making sure your savings are secure and diversified. Will this be the year you decide to talk to somebody from Birch Gold Group? You know, you've been thinking about it. They use an educated approach with a deep understanding of macroeconomics. There are forces pushing the dollar lower right now and gold higher, which is why they believe every American should own physical gold. So until January 30th, if you are a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, just text MK to the number 989898. Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you are still eligible for a rebate of up to $10,000. Consider making right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate of up to $10,000 when you buy by January 30th. Text MK to the number 989898 and claim your eligibility today. Again, text MK to 989898 now. The World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, the annual gathering of global political, business, and media elites, kicking off this week. The topic on everyone's mind, President Trump's relentless push to acquire Greenland. In advance of his arrival in Switzerland, the president posting an AI image online depicting him planting an American flag next to a sign reading, quote, Greenland, U.S. territory, established 2026. In recent weeks, President Trump amping up his pressure campaign to secure control of the semi-autonomous territory from Denmark, including threats to impose additional tariffs on the 8 European nations most opposed to America's takeover. In response, European leaders scrambling to present a united front, holding emergency talks. At Davos yesterday, head of the European Union, Ursula von der Leyen, striking a defiant tone, calling for Europe to untether itself from the U.S.
Geopolitical shocks can and must serve as an opportunity for Europe. And in my view, the seismic change we are going through today is an opportunity, in fact, a necessity, to build a new form of European independence. Of course, nostalgia is part of our human story, but nostalgia will not bring back the old order. And playing for time and hoping for things to revert soon will not fix the structural dependencies we have. So my point is, if this change is permanent, then Europe must change permanently too. It is time to seize this opportunity and build a new independent Europe.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, who himself occasionally has to deal with threats of U.S. annexation, saying this.
On Arctic sovereignty, we stand firmly with Greenland and Denmark and fully support their unique right to determine Greenland's future.
California Governor Gavin Newsom, a long way outside of his jurisdiction, making a cameo, apparently to trash talk Euro leaders over their posture on Greenland and other engagements with President Trump.
I can't take this complicity. People rolling over. I should have brought a bunch of knee pads for all the world leaders. I mean, handing out crowns and this is pathetic. Nobel Prizes that are being given away. I mean, it's just pathetic. And I hope people understand how pathetic they look on the world stage. I mean, at least from an American perspective, it's embarrassing. This is diplomacy with Donald Trump. He's a T-Rex. You mate with him or he devours you.
Wait, what? Elsewhere in Europe, a Danish member of the EU Parliament yesterday expressing his feelings succinctly before being cut off for not following the rules.
Let me put this in words you might understand. Mr. President, fuck off.
President Trump's drive to acquire Greenland, while not ruling out the threat of military force, raising questions about the future of NATO, an alliance built on mutual defense. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent yesterday on Steve Bannon's War Room, framing the administration's push instead as a common-sense proactive initiative to bolster the NATO alliance.
We are still NATO allies. The NATO relationship is strong, and President Trump just believes that the U.S. needs Greenland because no one will make a move on it then. If the Europeans have it, if Denmark has it, what if Russia, what if China makes a move, then we're part of NATO, we'll get pulled in. Isn't it much better in advance just to cede it to the U.S. and then it has U.S. protection?
Back stateside, President Trump early Tuesday morning expanding on the argument.
We have to have it. They have to have this done. They can protect it. Denmark, they're wonderful people. And I know the leaders are very good people, but they don't even go there. And, you know, because the boat went there 500 years ago and then left, that doesn't give you title to property. So we'll be talking about it with the various people. We've had tremendous success.
Later in the day, Mr. Trump making an appearance at the White House press briefing with this ominous warning.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
President Trump set to speak in Davos today. More to come on that. One of Minnesota's most famous Somalis, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, reportedly facing scrutiny from House oversight investigators and federal law enforcement in connection with massive wealth gains tied to her husband's businesses. AM Update previously reporting on Omar's financial disclosures, showing her husband, a different one from the brother she allegedly married, and former political consultant Tim Mynett accumulating a net worth listed from $6 million to as much as $30 million in just 1 year. The vast majority of that wealth stemming from Mynett's stake in the venture capital firm Rose Lake Capital, valued between $5 million and $25 million, along with a separate ownership stake in a California winery ranging from $1 to $5 million. Those two companies going from virtually broke in 2023 to multimillion-dollar enterprises in 2024, according to Representative Omar's disclosures. News of these probes coming amid the revelation of one of the largest pandemic fraud cases in the country, centered in Congresswoman Omar's district. Dozens of individuals within the Minnesota Somali community charged with plundering taxpayer-funded social services, allegedly billing for meals never provided through programs like Feeding Our Future, which was intended to provide free meals to needy children during the pandemic. The New York Post reporting Congresswoman Omar is closely linked to at least 2 individuals within the Somali community charged in the fraud cases. Republican Congressman James Comer, head of the Oversight Committee, telling the Post, quote, "There are a lot of questions as to how her husband accumulated so much wealth over the past 2 years. It's not possible. It's not. I'm a money guy. It's not possible." As Minnesota fraud prosecutions began coming to light, Mynett's company, Rose Lake Capital, quietly scrubbing its online presence, removing references to prominent individuals previously listed as advisors, reports the Post. Former U.S. Senator from Montana, Democrat Max Baucus, who was once listed on the website as an advisor of the company, telling the Post he had just one phone call in 2022 with Mynett's business partner about a potential deal. Baucus saying nothing ever came of it beyond some emails. Other former so-called advisors offering similar accounts. Neither Congresswoman Omar nor her husband, Mynett, has been formally charged or accused of wrongdoing at this time. Omar, earlier this month on CBS, addressing suspicions about her husband's wealth.
The chair oversight committee said that he wants to refer you to the ethics committee.
I've been referred like 100 times, so
he's looking
go ahead.
At your husband's income and net worth. He said it was tied to private equity investment funds, but he seems to be insinuating that you personally are tied into this welfare scam. How do you respond to that?
Ever since I've gotten to Congress, they have been doing these sort of weird ethics investigations. None of them have yielded anything because I have been as transparent as I can be, and there is nothing wrong with any documentation that I have ever provided to the federal government.
We reached out to Representative Omar's team and have yet to hear a response. Coming up, authorities searching for a suspect in Indiana accused of shooting a judge and his wife through their home's front door. And the Vance family shares some exciting news. Our sponsor, the Electronic Payments Coalition, says Washington politicians are always getting in your wallet, and that now they're messing with your credit card. They say your credit card and the security it offers are under attack, and that Senators Dick Durbin and Roger Marshall want to change the nation's payment system in a way that would benefit corporate megastores like Walmart and Target at the expense of everyday Americans. Credit cards can keep your payments secure, and they can provide rewards that families use to help make everyday purchases more affordable. The Electronic Payments Coalition says the Durbin-Marshall mandates would let corporate megastores cut corners on credit card processing, routing transactions over cheaper, untested networks with weaker security and fewer protections. Find out more at guardyourcard.com and consider telling Congress to guard your card. A manhunt underway in Indiana. Police searching for a gunman who on Sunday afternoon shot a judge and his wife through the front door of their home. Both victims now in stable condition. The suspect knocking on the door of Tippecanoe Superior Court Judge Stephen Meyer's Lafayette home, located about an hour north of Indianapolis. 911 dispatch audio describing what happened next.
There was a knock on the door. Someone advised we have your dog, and then a shot came through the door.
Judge Meyer struck in the arm, his wife, Kimberly, shot in the hip, the suspect fleeing immediately. It is unclear how many shots were fired. Police reportedly recovering at least one shotgun shell from the front porch of the home. It also appears there is a ring camera on the exterior of the home. The investigation now a joint effort between multiple local agencies as well as the FBI, authorities not yet releasing a suspect description. Judge Meyer, 1 month ago, announcing plans to retire at the end of the year after more than 12 years of service on the court. Chief Justice of the Indiana Supreme Court, Loretta Rush, writing in a statement, quote, "I worry about the safety of all of our judges. Any violence against a judge or a judge's family is completely unacceptable." Authorities say there were no known threats against the judge at the time of the attack. 2 Portland, Oregon police officers shot in the line of duty Monday night, with the shooter still at large. The officers responding to a 911 call placed just before 8:30 p.m. Oregon time. The caller reporting he had just been threatened by an unfamiliar man with a knife in the Sullivan's Gulch neighborhood of northeast Portland. The suspect opening fire upon contact with the officers. One officer hit twice, the other once. Neither officer discharged their weapon in the incident. Both now hospitalized and in stable condition, authorities at a Tuesday afternoon briefing declining to provide more information on the extent of the injuries. The shooting triggering a large-scale overnight manhunt involving drones and canine units. However, investigators calling off the active search around 5:30 a.m. yesterday morning without finding the suspect. Deputy Police Chief Chris Jovic on the next steps in the investigation.
I know the fear and uncertainty you're feeling right now is very real. While we haven't apprehended the suspect responsible, we want to assure you that we have dedicated homicide detectives and officers assigned to this case, and we will pursue all leads to bring this person into custody as quickly as possible. You may see an increased presence, police presence in the area as we work to solve this case. And please know that if we had information that suggested an immediate risk to the public, we would put that information out to you for your safety.
Police releasing images of the suspect obtained from the officer's body cameras. He appears to be a white male with dark facial hair, mid-30s, dressed in a black hat, gray hood, dark puffy jacket, black pants and backpack, carrying a green shopping bag. Investigators are asking residents with security cameras in the area to come forward as the search continues. Vice President J.D. Vance, 41, and Second Lady Usha Vance, 40, with a big announcement yesterday afternoon. The couple sharing a statement on social media, quote, "We're very excited to share the news that Usha is pregnant with our 4th child, a boy." Usha and the baby are doing well, and we are all looking forward to welcoming him in late July. The pair going on to thank their military doctors and staff members for their excellent care in, quote, this exciting and hectic time. The Vances long embracing raising a family amid the chaos of life. Mr. Vance describing their parenting philosophy to your humble correspondent back in 2017 as they prepared to welcome their first child, just 1 month before Usha was set to begin a Supreme Court clerkship.
You're going to have the baby in June. You're going to have to start your new job in
July, at the end of July.
It's going to be a tough year, but I think we sort of have sealed ourselves emotionally that the next year is just going to be pretty chaotic. And I think of that as like a classically hillbilly thing, right? Like you don't plan the baby around your life. You plan your life around the baby, and we'll figure it out.
Nearly a decade later, they're doing just that once again. Baby Vance joining 3 older siblings, 2 brothers and a sister, making history as the first child born to a sitting second lady. Congratulations to the Vance family. And that'll do it for your AM Update. I'm Megyn Kelly. Join me back here for the MK Show, live on SiriusXM's The Megyn Kelly Channel, 111 at noon East, on youtube.com/Megyn Kelly, and on all podcast platforms.